Okay, today we're going to discuss a very important topic, and that's how to properly choose the correct concealed carry handgun for you. Now, one thing you need to remember about this is not a decision you can make for yourself. You need to consult people on the internet. You need to consult with people that are internet gun experts like myself. Remember, they don't let just anyone make these videos, and who knows better what's right for you than me. Okay, the first thing we're going to discuss is budget. And this is what you got to take into account when you first decide you're going to buy a gun. And the thing you need to remember is you need to spend as much as you can possibly spend. There's two reasons for that. One, the more expensive a gun is, the more accurate it is, and the more reliable it is. And two, an expensive gun says you have good tastes. Because with guns, like with people, money equals quality. You see this watch? That's genuine Disney. Think that was free? No, it wasn't. So once again, money equals quality. The next thing we'll talk about that you need to take into consideration is the size of your concealed carry gun. Now, one thing you're going to need to remember is the bigger, the better. Remember, your gun says a lot about you, and the size of your gun is going to be directly related to your manhood. And also the size of your gun is also going to determine the amount of confidence you have while carrying it. Remember, your gun is going to be your primary source of confidence. So bigger is better. The next subject we're going to talk about is capacity. Now, you want as much capacity as possible. Anything less than 12 or 15 rounds, and you might as well just stay home. Because we all know most confrontations, most self-defense situations are going to involve a prolonged firefight. You want to be able to pull your gun and just start blasting. And remember, don't stop until it's empty. Because the more shots fired means the more chances you're going to be walking away from that confrontation. Okay, I'm going to take a minute here to address two carry choices that I get asked about quite often, and that is the 1911 and the revolver. Now, these are both acceptable choices for you if your dinner conversation usually revolves around the fact that you thought Lyndon Johnson was the best president ever. But for younger people that understand that modern technology is always better and that their knowledge of handguns didn't stop somewhere around the 1890s, these are just not acceptable choices. For one, they just don't have the capacity that you're going to need. Now, that's okay for older people because who's going to attack an older person? No one. I mean, that would be pretty sleazy. But if you're younger, you need a more tactical advantage. Now, there are tactical versions of the 1911 that are acceptable for carry. But one thing you have to remember about the 1911, if you get one, get it in .45. Because there's only one statement that a 1911 in 9mm makes about you, and that statement is, I have a vagina. Another thing you're going to want to take into consideration when choosing your concealed carry weapon is construction and weight. You're going to want the gun to be made out of a solid material and be as heavy as possible. Because you never know, there's going to be times when you're in a self-defense situation and the person is going to surrender. And you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you have to pistol whip someone with a lightweight gun. You're just going to look silly. You're going to want a gun that's made of good steel construction that can really leave a mark. Okay, in the end, a couple of things you have to keep in mind, and probably the most important things, we touched on them earlier, but we'll talk about them more here, is what does your gun say about you and how does it make you feel? Remember, your gun is your primary source of confidence. It's what makes you feel like a big man. This gun should make you feel powerful. If it doesn't, you don't have the right gun. Is an LCP going to make you feel powerful? I don't think so. And what does it say about you? If you're at the grocery store and someone tries to squeeze in front of you with 15 items in the 12 item or less aisle, and you have to wave your gun around a little bit to get some respect, what's that gun going to say about you? You'll want it to say the right things. You want it to say, I have money, I have class, and I have a big gun. So there you have it. There's how you, or better yet I, choose the proper concealed carry handgun for you. Now remember, I'm a YouTube gun expert. I know you're not. But if you want to put the time and effort into it, you too could become an expert. All you have to do is wear the proper gear, learn how to do a few rolls, watch all the gun channels, read gun magazines, take quotes from gun makers and famous shooters and use them out of context whenever you possibly can. Wear lots of gun-related clothing. Then you too could become a YouTube gun expert. And you too could be making decisions for other people like I do. So like I say, put a little effort into it, put a little work into it, and just a very little, and you too could become a YouTube gun expert like myself.